It's something strange not even we saw coming. Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, the most visited theme park on planet Earth, had a dearth of people coming through the turnstiles on Memorial Day. What does that mean? Well, to put it in plain English, nobody was there. Vacant, tumbleweeds at the happiest place on Earth. Today, we'll show you video of just how deserted Disney was. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is a joy, as always, as we continue bringing you the news when it comes to entertainment. Everything that should be fun. Yes, and we're never done, and neither are you. Click the like button, and let's dive into something strange, something bizarre. Nobody was vacationing at Disney World over Memorial Day weekend. Out of thatparkplace.com. Folks, if you're not yet bookmarked, well, you should be. Memorial Day crowds at Magic Kingdom disappear in 2025 as Universal Studios seems to win big over Walt Disney World. Memorial Day weekend crowds were shockingly low at Walt Disney World in 2025. Editor-in-chief of that park place and saboteur of one Lorne and his beautiful hat, Marvin Montanero, took a stroll through the Magic Kingdom on May 26th, that's Memorial Day, and was amazed at how empty the world's most visited theme park had become. Meanwhile, Epic Universe still appears to be kept at low capacity for the start of summer, but Universal Studios proper and Islands of Adventure were both slammed with guests. In fact, Magic Kingdom was so low on guests for Memorial Day that we decided to take photos specifically with shadows clearly visible. Why, you might ask? So that nobody can claim that we took these photos in the morning or the evening or at any time where we're just faking it on how empty Magic Kingdom actually was. Prepare to be shocked. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the lack of shadows in some of these photos is not evidence that we used a green screen, but rather that it is high noon. Take a look. The shadows are directly under people. Have you ever seen Main Street so empty before? Look, it's not just one photo. It's not just, hey, we got this special angle we can take it at. It is everywhere. That's the entire hub of Main Street once you pass through the train station. Look at this, folks. Look at the shadow on the lamp. We're not making it up, we promise. In fact, we've got video to prove it. Take a look at this, folks. It is video of just how uncrowded it was on Memorial Day, Memorial Day itself at the Magic Kingdom. Vash, what is going on? Where have the crowds gone? Why is it that even as Epic Universe has yet to unleash its full capacity? Some say it's down to 20% right now to make sure that the operations on the first few days are good. How is it that Magic Kingdom and Disney World have already been devastated?
Yeah, this is a very interesting particular story. The attendance going into the summer has been truly bizarre, and this actually covers both coasts, by the way. We saw that Universal Studios Hollywood actually had longer lines, or a longer average wait time, that is, than Disneyland Park. Now, obviously, there are huge capacity differences between those two resorts, but to find something like this, in which Magic Kingdom almost has nobody inside of it, well, I mean, it speaks to, I mean, maybe changing consumer habits or something to that effect. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Epic's empty. Nobody actually wanted to go. It's like, and Pro, you alluded to it. No, people do want to go. And they've actually, at least Universal that was, they blocked out a lot of those days. Up until very recently did they actually unlock a lot of those days. But yes, they have set those thresholds lower because I think they saw the feedback from the preview period and were like, okay, let's go a little bit more conservative when ramping this up right here. But this right here, this is quite startling. I think we are seeing maybe an industry slowdown taking place. And while Epic might be booked out, Magic Kingdom is clearly not.
Well, I'll say this too, there are people who will say that, oh, you guys are just making this up. Oh, you just took a photo in a particular direction. Oh, this isn't real. We have done everything we can this time to prove it definitively, folks. You're seeing full video all over Main Street. You're seeing video of the entrance at the turnstiles, and you can see the shadows. You can see this is not 8 a.m. This is not 9 a.m. This is not taken down some back alley outside of Crystal Palace where nobody is standing. we're looking straight down at the castle, and we want to give huge credit, big shout out to Marvin Montanaro for having gone to the Magic Kingdom on Memorial Day. Even though he's the editor-in-chief, he was still writing articles, but was inside the park just to find out how starkly empty it was. And it is, folks, and this is something, this is not the way that Disney wants to kick off their big summer celebration. Usually, the end of May and the first half of June into the 4th of July, these are the times when families are doing vacations. Now, the latter half of July and all of August, it's miserably hot. Families are getting ready to go back to school, but this is the sweepstakes for Disney. Not a great way to kick it off. Lou, your thoughts on this one?
First, where are the locals? Where are the annual pass holders? They would go now rather than later in the summer to avoid crowds, but they're not here. Secondly, Vash, have you got that picture of the parking lot at Epic that purports to show how
get up? Give me just one.
There's a photo going around. I think BioReconstruct took it of the parking lot at Epic Universe, showing that there's hardly anybody there on opening day. But it also has been told to us that about 80 to 90% of the attendance was people staying at Universal hotels, which means they didn't drive. They were on one of those spiffy electric buses coming from the other hotels, or just walking in from the Stella and the Luna and the Helios and like that. So the question obviously becomes, if Universal's hotels are full of people on that 3-day deal where you get 1 day at Epic and the other 2 at the other parks, what was Disney's hotel capacity like over this weekend? If the park is that empty, how empty are the hotels? How empty is Disney Springs? How empty are the restaurants? How much less merchandise are they selling than they would expect to sell? It's very, very, very telling. Very, very, very telling.
And it's odd. I mean, even with everything we've seen with Epic, this is still so sparsely crowded that it boggles the mind. This is a holiday, even with Epic opened. And here's the other thing, too. Disney is opening both of their water parks for the first time post-pandemic. Listen, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, they don't have enough people in here to run this park, which is crazy. This is the most visited theme park in the world. Now, Matt, you got this image. Let's put it on stage. We'll get this up here for everybody to see. Vash, what is this? Lou, what is this?
Well, this is the parking lot for Epic on opening day. But it was trying to show, gee, nobody came. But in fact, when they mention that most people are coming from the 11 Universal hotels, they don't drive. They take the bus. It's free. It's easy. And it doesn't say what it thinks it says. Plus, we know they kept the capacity down in order, again, to avoid too much trouble. By the way, somebody had a thing of the Disney app showing the wait times on rides, and the longest wait time at Magic Kingdom was for Tron, the shortest ride, I think, of the major rides in the park.
Well, and that attraction is going to have capacity issues and might have increased demand. But remember, we heard that forward bookings were solid, didn't we, bro? I mean, I think Hugh Johnston actually said that, and Josh Giamaro said, Epic opening, it's going to be a boon to Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World. I think we heard from Josh Giamaro himself that it was like, they must go to Magic Kingdom to see Tron specifically, I think was the exact quote right there. Clearly, go ahead.
And not to blow my own horn again, but I did do an article about that whole silly statement by Josh D'Amaro, too, that's in that Park Place. You can go find it. But one of the points I tried to make, this is not about a new theme park opening in the form of Epic. For most people who used to be Disney people first, last, and always, for most people who took the Magical Express and were captive audiences, for most people who have the Disney Vacation Club condo deals, they've never been to islands. They've never been to the studios. They've never been to Volcano Bay either. And this idea of selling this package where you get 3 days, but only one of them at Epic, let me tell you, I watched that whole horrible, awful, terrible, painful blue carpet thing that was the big mistake that Universal made with Epic.
And let us say, too, Lou, we love most of Epic Universe. There are some issues. They need more attractions.
Sure,
but the weather. But that blue carpet thing, was a misstep.
It was a total disaster. But watching the chat, I saw two very telling, granted just two chats, and it's anecdotal. One was from somebody in the UK who said that they had their entire Disney vacation booked and ready to roll for August. They had just canceled it and changed over to do it at Universal. If one person did that, how many thousands did that? The second one was maybe even more telling. It was from somebody in the upper Midwest who said, I've never been to the state of Florida in my life. I've never had any desire to go, and I've never had any great desire to go to any of these theme parks. But guess what? I want to go to Epic.
That's a big statement.
So how many thousands and thousands and thousands of families are going to make this their reason to go? And the idea that they'll do all that and then, I'll take a cab or an Uber or whatever and spend a day at Magic Kingdom. I don't think so.
Yeah, I do wonder, now that you say that, Lou, how much this has impacted Disney specifically, this capping of the attendance at Epic. If you can't go to Epic, are you necessarily going to find yourself in Central Florida? You might not, and that might actually be affecting Disney at this point.
Well, let me go to Lauren. Lauren, I want to show you something that I think is part of this. This is out of that park place. We've got this embedded in here, and Drew Disney Dude, Drew Smith, has this. It is a view of the Liberty Bell, which is being decorated, we assume, for the last time, which is incredibly sad. Lauren, this is what the Magic Kingdom has, and which it will have no more very soon. And I just wonder if this is part of what is creating a negative atmosphere at Disney, where people no longer want to participate in what they are doing. As we let this play, Lauren, this is what they are getting rid of. This is something that cannot be replicated at Universal Studios. They don't have it at Epic. It's one of those things, and it's truly beautiful, right? I mean, this is just absolutely beautiful. And they're going to pave this. You can see the crane in the background. I guess that's for Big Thunder, though. But construction is happening. Big Thunder's part of the Frontierland work, and they're going to pave all of this. They're going to put these cartoon cars on here, and they're just going to make a horrible mess of it because the riverboat doesn't make enough money for them that they can measure tangibly and say, here's the exact amount. Because nobody's going to do a lightning lane for this. But what they don't understand is that there's a transcendence here. Like, if you don't have beauty in your park, then you lose the park part of it. Lauren, your thoughts? I mean, is this part of what's ruining the sentiment?
It's difficult for me to have an opinion because I don't know how much the general public is tuned into what's happening with Rivers of America. I think the calculation that Disney thinks they have made is that the general public is culturally illiterate and is not particularly interested in an 1800s themed paddle boat and Tom Sawyer Island. They think nobody reads anymore. But I do think that that's going to bite them because, as you say, it is a unique experience that you can't really get anywhere else anymore. And it does detract from the beauty of the park if you pave over this river area. Again, the only question I have is, how much does the general public know about this? How aware of it are they? I hope they're paying attention, but I don't know for sure if they are.
Well, since it's now pretty sure they're going to do it, the only way the general public will discover is when it's not there anymore. Yep. And they'll discover it standing over there at Haunted Mansion or standing on the banks elsewhere around the river. And suddenly there's this, a dirt bike? Instead of that calm and that placidity. Some people have said that Celestial Park, the core of Epic Universe, is a park, is a place to unwind, that there are people just sitting watching the fountains. Look at the idiocy. Water moving is something human beings like. If you go look at Bellagio and you go look at Caesar's Palace, and then you look at the wonderful Fountain of Nations at Epcot, and they did what? Well, Universal was building this amazing series of fountains, not just the big round one, but all the others are coordinated with it, as we've seen in the video, or some of us have seen in person. And they tore it down to do what? To put in a hardscape and a bad statue of Walt lit from beneath like Boris Karloff in Frankenstein? What's wrong with them? It's what bizarre logic leads to, well, we don't need all this water. What the heck?
And the crazy thing is, they could have all of this and the expansions. They have the land for it.
Sure.
They can reroute it. Former Imagineers who are so put off by what they're doing have laid out how you can easily reroute this. They refuse. They just refuse.
And when I first heard they were going to bring cars to Magic Kingdom, because of course the ride at DCA is spectacular. I would venture to say it's the last great attraction they've done. I thought, well, it's a natural to put it behind Big Thunder because it's all Route 66 and the Southwest and the same atmosphere, the same theming. But no, not there. Let's put it right in the smack dab middle of everything.
I want to go ahead and expand on Lou's point there because, I think he started his commentary off saying that it looks like it's going to be a for sure thing. The reason why he is saying that is because Blog Mickey actually just ran a story just now talking about how this might actually be going away. Here you go. Massive land clearing expands as Magic Kingdom speeds forward with cars linked replacement of Rivers of America. These are the kind of the laydown yards adjacent to the site right there. They are moving full steam ahead, and we still don't really have a closing date for Rivers of America or any of the attractions out there. But even without that, they are still proceeding, and they are still going forward. Like Lauren said, I think that's definitely a calculation by Disney management talking about, are these stories necessarily relevant for today's audiences? And obviously there's some operational concerns when it comes to costs, maintenance associated with maintaining Rivers of America or the Liberty Bell and all of that. But I would argue the ambience of this park will be completely changed forever and then on. This is a terrible, terrible idea, and yet we're steaming ahead, let's say. With this, and it's quite. These crowds might be indicative of the future for Magic Kingdom.
Steam rolling down the river, and folks, not even a sliver of magic going to be remaining when they're done with this one. That is the story, though. We're sticking to it. Disney's sticking with their plans to destroy a quarter of their most successful park, and if they do so, look out.
And they've already announced price increases for 2026.
Youch. And folks, we have come to the end yet again. Another video of excellence in the can. What a joy it has been to share time with you. We hope you enjoyed it as well. If so, consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. And as always, drop a comment down below. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, so waste not yours. Join a community dialogue today, just on down below. Folks, we are going to say farewell for now, but we will see you back. 4 is more, and that's how many videos we put out every single day here on the Pro Channel. Hope you enjoy them all. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.